So if you're looking for that buttery smooth, killer slider footage, I got just the thing for you in this video. Check out what we have here. This is the Zeapon Micro 2 Plus motorized camera slider. Really good build, and the footage that comes off of it is incredible. Camera slider is a great tool. You can slide left and right, you can go up and down, you can go away from your subject, all sorts of creative stuff like that. It's very good for helping to storytell. Let me show you how this thing works, and I'm gonna show you how to get some killer footage with it. But before we do that, do me a favor, be sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell. I really appreciate it. All right, let's go. All right, so here is just the slider without the motor mounted. And if you're on a budget, this is a really great option, because you can get just the slider here for about $259, and you really don't need the motor to get that killer smooth slider footage because of the incredible fluid dampening technology. On the bottom, you have a mount point right here. I actually have one of those thread screws in there so I can mount a tripod plate. So I have one of these little screws that came with it. And this is where the quick release attachment is for when you have to take this belt off in order to put the motor on. And you have these nice little legs that swing out on the bottom, and this like sub chassis is built into the slider. So it's super convenient and really easy to use. So if you just slide those out like that, flip the unit back over, now it's like ridiculously stable. I mean, this thing is like rock solid. I'm moving like the whole desk. And the feet, actually, you can turn the feet a little bit. So if your table's a little bit off, you can adjust it by unscrewing or screwing in these little feet. Size-wise, looking at this unit, it's about 14 inches or so as is when you're looking at it like this. Now, when I put the motor on, it is going to grow a little bit larger. Now, on the side, you have this lock mechanism right here. You can see there's a lock. If I just hit the lock button, now this thing won't slide. Now this unit is made from aircraft grade aluminum, so it's extremely high quality build, and it really feels like it. I mean, everything is tight, the tolerances on everything is very precise, and I've been using it for a few weeks now, and I just can't wait to use it in all my future projects, to be honest. So even though the slider is only 14 inches, you can see just how far you can actually get with the camera movement. You're getting about 22 inches of travel, even though the unit itself is only 14 inches long. Weighs about 1.9 pounds or 1.3 kilograms, and it also comes with this nice carrying case here that you can just slip it into. It's a nice little bag. Let me show you how to mount the motor. So the first thing you're going to want to do is flip this guy over, and you have this screw here. It's like an easy thumb thread. You just unscrew that, and the belt comes off, as you can see here. And then on the other side, under here, it might be a little bit hard to see. You just have to push from this angle. If you push upward, it will undo itself. And you can see it's like got this magnet design here. It just magnetically like attaches. It's super easy. So then you take that belt off, and now this is what the motor looks like. This is where the battery goes. It's got a nice lock here for the battery, so it doesn't accidentally slide off. And here's the bottom of it, and you got the power button here. You got USB ports up here, as you can see, and you got 3 lights. This will show you your power. That'll change color depending on the battery life, and then you have your speeds 1, 2, and 3. So what we're going to do is we're just going to slide this over that like so, and then we have these screws here that it comes with. Let's put these suckers in, and just take your time. There's no rush. Okay, snug these down pretty tight. And then like we said, on this we have that magnet, so we just gotta slide that out of the way a little bit. Slip this magnet thing under there. There we go, that slid into place. And now we just gotta bring this guy up, put it in that thread. Alright, so we just gotta cinch this up here, get it taut. Let's check the tension, that looks pretty good. So that's what it looks like with the motor mounted, and if we measure it, we're looking at about 17 inches or so, just so you know. So it'll still easily fit in most camera bags. And with the motor, it does get a little bit heavier. So now it weighs in at about 4.4 pounds or 2 kilograms. And now the unit is like locked because the motor is keeping it locked. So if your battery dies and you're in the field, this would be a good reason why you would want to take the motor off, and then you can just put this belt back on and use it in manual mode and still continue to get lots of awesome footage. This particular battery that I got is the NP550. Now you can also get the larger ones. You can get the 750 or you can get the 970 for more hours, and the batteries just get bigger. So what you do is you just slide that in over here. As you can see right there, you got a lock so the battery is not going to fall out. If you turn this on by hitting the power button here, you can see that power light, and there it is. So now it's on and it's in speed mode 2. So if you tap the power button, you can change the speed mode. Now it's in speed mode 3. Now it's in speed mode 1. So let me just show you what this looks like while it's in speed mode 1. So all you have to do to use this is double tap the direction and it'll start moving. And you can hear how quiet it is. You probably could barely even hear it at all. This is just a motor noise test. So at speed 1, this is what it sounds like. Barely hear it. That's speed 2. Speed 2. There's speed 3. But that's pretty much how it works. And while it's going, you can actually hit the speed button and change the speed. And when it gets to the end, it just stops. And you could double tap, go the other way. And that's how it works. Now this motor is very powerful. It can carry up to 10 pounds at any angle. So if you're on a flat surface like this, you can actually go up to like 17 pounds. So if you have this slider at an extreme angle like this, it's still able to move up to 10 pounds. Now, as you see it here, this actually goes for $445. If you want to buy the motor separate, like in the future, that'll go for about $250. So if you buy it all together, you're going to save like 50 bucks. So in the real world, you could use this in so many different ways. How I like to use it and how I've used it so far was pretty much for the most part just hitting the buttons at whatever speed I wanted, and I used it that way. However, I did also use the app. It has a cool app here. It's called Zeapon Lab. So you can go and download that. And when you open the app, it actually just looks for the device. The device automatically gives off like a Bluetooth signal. And there it is. It attaches. And now here's what the app looks like. Now, there's other modules coming out for this, which I don't have. And that would be tilt and rotate. So I plan on doing a follow-up review if I ever get those other accessories. But as it is now, all this really does is slide. Now what's cool is you can actually set waypoints using this app. So what you do is you just put the slider where you want it. For example, I'm going to throw it over there for a second. I'll stop it like that, and then I'll hit 1 for the waypoint. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it over here, and I'll add a second waypoint. And now that's how I have it set. So you can see it says it's going to take 21.8 seconds to do that. And I also have this back and forth thing. I'm going to enable that. So now watch what happens when I hit play. And I can change the speed if I want by dragging these up. So I can make it go fast. And check it out. It's just going to continue to go back and forth. Now watch this. I can drag these down and make it go super slow. So you can control the speed from this app as well. And now look, it's just creeping along. Now this is another example of how you can have the camera set up and just have the camera oscillating back and forth using the app. So if I hit stop, I can turn that off and then hit play, and it'll just go from point A to point B. And you can put up to 5 waypoints in here and change the speed between the waypoints. And it also has this time-lapse app, which I have not tried yet. Alright, so I just want to show you how I'm actually using this unit. So what I do is I have the tripod plate here that I use for my Manfrotto tripod. So I'm just screwing that on the bottom. So now this can attach right to the top of my ball head. So I have this little ball head, smaller unit, and I'm just going to screw this on the top. So now I have a ball head on one side, and I have the tripod mount on the bottom. So now I can mount this whole unit to my tripod, and then I can adjust the angles of it and stuff like that. So I'm just gonna put this on here like so. Make this fairly level. Now, because I have this mounted on, it's a little bit wobbly, so you want to make sure that your tripod is super secure. You don't want this flipping over when your camera moves. A ball head is not ideal. You would really want a larger, like big fluid head to support something like this, especially if you're using heavy cameras and lenses. I'm using a fairly light setup, so it's not that big of a deal. But I do always make sure that I have the tripod positioned in a way where the legs are set up so it won't flip over. So in this case, what I got to do is I got to rotate this a little bit because I want the motor side, which is the heavy side, to have a leg right underneath it. So let me just turn this a little bit like that. And now I have the leg for the tripod directly underneath the motor, so I don't have to worry about it flipping over if it gets too heavy on that side. All right, so now I'm just going to mount my Sony a6400 to the tripod here that I have the ball head on top here. So again, now I just adjust the speed that I want. So if I put it on speed 2 right there, and then I can go to the right, and the camera will slide to the right, and you can just get killer footage. Now, another thing I wanted to show you is how you can go up and down. If you're using a tripod, you can actually change the angle. So you can put this sucker at an angle like this. Then you can adjust your camera so it's level. And then if you go down, now the camera is actually going down. Something like that. And now you can just zoom into something if you want. And just be careful, you don't want to hit the front of the unit on anything. Do a pull focus if you want. You can have the camera set to manual focus, and you can, just set the focus first on your thing and then pan it out. So after using the Zeapon Mini Slider Plus for like 2 weeks now, I'm really impressed with the build quality, the smoothness that the video footage offers. It has 3 different speeds, so when it's going so slow, it's so smooth and so quiet. It's just absolutely phenomenal. I got tons of slider footage. I'm actually reviewing my new mountain bike right now, and I love how it's super compact and fits in my camera bag. It's not too heavy either. It's kind of like carrying a gimbal or something. I bought some cheaper sliders in the past, and they're just herky-jerky. It's just really difficult to get a nice smooth shot with a manual slider. But with this one in manual, because of that fluid, it does butter right out, even if you're manually pushing it. So it's an extremely good value in that regard, in my opinion. And then you could always upgrade and grab the motor. But honestly, if you have the money, I would highly recommend getting it with the motor, because you do save a little money, and the motor just makes it easier to use. It gives you multiple speeds, and you can use the waypoints and app to really get where you want to be. If you guys have any questions, please, be sure to ask below the video, and I'll also have links below to the different kits and stuff that I was using during this review. So thanks again for checking in. I will catch up with you guys next time, and do me a favor, just hit that subscribe button and notification bell if you want to be informed for future videos. You know what I'm saying? All right, so that about wraps it up. I'll catch up with you guys next time. You take care. Be safe out there, all right?